Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to your weekly current affairs program. It is 60 minutes Nigeria, a topical discussion program where we look at happenings in the country. My name is Ideologies Agbolao, welcoming you to the program, and it's a delight to be back from my annual vacation to host the program. Well, on today's talk show, we'll be taking a look at political parties and ideologies. Don't forget that a lot is happening in the country, in the north, in the south, in the east, different parts of the country. We've been seeing politicians defect. They move from one party, they dump one party, defect to another party. We've been seeing the emergence of new political parties. We've been seeing a lot of activities ahead of elections. In Ondo State, the governor and his deputy, Ajayi Agbola, won the state on the platform of the APC. But as I speak, Governor Akeredolu is of the APC, while the deputy governor, Ajayi Agbola, has defected to the PDP. So in Ondo, we have governor APC, we have deputy governor PDP. A lot has happened. So we're going to look at ideologies. What do these parties represent? I have two guests with me, very, very distinguished personalities. I have the chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Osahon Obasui. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we also have in the studio a regular face now, the man that the youths enjoy watching and listening to. We're talking about Ikpomosa Osamede. Nice to have you with us.
It's always a pleasure being here
Today. Okay, so like I introduced the program, we are looking at political parties and ideologies in focus. My name remains Ideologies Agbolao. So let's get started. But before my guests will make their contributions, let me give you the definition of ideologies. It is a system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. For example, you could say the ideology of republicanism, the ideology of the Republicans. Simply put, the ideology of the Democrats. These are two major parties known in the US. Now, in Nigeria, we have so many political parties, and my guest will be analyzing the issue. In social studies, political ideology is a certain set of ethical ideals, principles, doctrines, symbols of a social movement, institution, class, or large group that explains how society should work and offers some political and cultural blueprint for a certain social order. Let's start with Osahon or Obasui. Now, do you think political parties in Nigeria actually reflect ideologies?
Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
Ideologies Agbolao, for having us here as your guest for this program today.
Okay.
Well, talking about Nigeria and its political parties, as we speak today, a lot of us would doubt if these political parties actually have ideas.
How do you mean?
Reasons being that you see a group of persons coming together,
Yes.
you know, just jostling for power, you know, wanting to take over government at all costs,
Okay.
you know, without reasoning, putting together you know, when we take over government, what are we going to be doing? What are our ideas? What are these policies, you know, policies that we are going to put in place, you know, that will benefit the people? If you take a careful look at the political parties in Nigeria today, we want to doubt if any of them actually have plans for the people, if they have ideas. All they want to do is to ensure that they get to power, and especially now that corruption has eaten so deep, you know, into our society in Nigeria. So they get to power and do whatever they want to do. Of course, we know that in the United States of America, just like you mentioned, you have the Democrats, you have the Republicans, and we know that the Republicans are known, you know, to believe in culture, to stand for those things, you know, that they know they will do. That, like talking about gayism, they are against it. Talking about abortion, they are against it, and all those things. But the Democrat will say, oh, you can go ahead and do what you want to. Those are ideas. But here in Nigeria, I doubt if any of our political parties, you know, have ideas and policies and programs that they want to follow. What we know that they always jostle for here is power. They want to get to power by all means, and then probably look at the treasury of government and see what they can pull out of it. Okay, that's another issue. But let's get the thought of Ikmosa Osabedi. Yes.
Yes, looking at the Nigerian political space.
Okay.
You have to cast your mind back to when it all began.
Yes.
The first political party actually was formed by Albert Macaulay in 1923.
Okay.
It was called the NNDP, the Nigerian National Democratic Party or so. At that time, when that political party was actually formed, it was basically with the interest of actually putting people in the Lagos Council district. It was more or less like an assembly then.
Yeah.
It was even before we got our independence. So, like you defined, the political party is simply a vehicle by which people make use of in order to get power and influence decisions, especially in government. So basically, that has always been the motive of every political party. But then you also mentioned the American system. That is actually the democracy that we copied, their own system or government.
Yeah.
And of course, you mentioned the fact that they have the Republicans, and also the guest also mentioned the Democrats as well. So they all have varying ideologies. But the ideologies of the Republicans basically is all about the conservatives, basically trying to make sure that they don't sway too much into the unknown, trying to preserve what the American history is actually known for. And also the Republican mantra is actually to make the government to actually be the various individuals. That is why you see Donald Trump actually saying that every American should have a gun. In other words, this gun control that you see the Democrats actually clamoring against, the Republicans will say, no, we don't want that. Because, of course, that is their so-called campaign issues. They talk about taxes, they talk about abortion, that's the pro-life, and the pro-choice. In other words, those persons that the Republicans, for example, would say an individual can do an abortion. It is not against the law of the state. But the Democrats would, the Republicans would say no, will object. The Democrats would say no, we should give women the right to do such. And that is simply because their problems actually revolve around that. But if you come back to Nigeria, our problems is not even about who should...
What's our problem?
Yes,
what's our,
it's not about
ideologies of parties in Nigeria?
Our problems is all about development, how to get food in the table of the average man. And that is why you will see that there's no clear-cut ideologies. Are you talking about
stomach infrastructure?
Stomach infrastructure in the sense that everyone in the state gets the dividends of democracy. That is not actually their clamor over there. Because in America, for example, you could be unemployed, but you still get government stipends every month. In other words, you actually really don't even need to work. But over here, it is quite different. So the ideologies, the clear-cut ideologies that they have is quite different from ours. All the political parties are all about is how to bring development. So it will be difficult to say this party is right-wing, that's a Republican, or this party is
now,
left wing
now,
or
before you
Democrat.
continue,
They are all about trying
why
to bring.
do we now have so many political parties
Because
if there are no clear-cut ideologies?
The ideologies is simply to bring development. These are opposed to the American ideologies where development is already there. They already have tarred roads. People already get their salaries as at when due. People already get paid even when they are not working. So the ideologies of now trying to preserve culture, and another party saying no, let's not preserve culture. We should go full throttle and do whatever we like. It is different here. Like I also mentioned, the first political party formed by Albert Macaulay in the First Republic. It was simply to capture power. And that is actually the goal of every political party, irrespective of their ideology. It is simply to get power and then try to influence their decisions, the societal decisions. And even statistics also shows that currently in the American states, you find these millennials, that's individuals born in the late 90s and up to this moment. They actually do not even see themselves as either part of Republican Party or part of the Democrats. They only have convergence of ideas. And that is why if you look at the history of even the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, if you look at the schematics, they all have an area of confluence. In other words, most often than not, you will hear maybe Donald Trump saying, oh, they are far left, some people are far left, some people are close to the center. Most often than not, all these parties, they all have confluence of ideas. In other words, they have similar ideas. They don't really have far-reaching ideologies as at now. And that is why the statistics that I mentioned earlier says that even youths in American states, they don't even see themselves as either Republican or Democrat. All this ask themselves is, okay, Donald Trump is coming for the 2020 elections. Joe Biden is coming also, wants to be president. Okay, what is their selling points? What is their character? What is the strength of their character? Okay. For example, in Nigeria, for example, we have APC, we have PDP as the two dominant parties. If you look at their manifesto, it's all the same. None of them says, oh, when I get to power, I will make sure that the roads are not tarred. None of them says, oh, when I get to power, I'll make sure I don't pay salaries. They all promise to do all of these things, but it is the strength of the individual's character that they look at. And that is why you see this saying, oh, it's not about political party, it is about voting the right person that has the strength of character, that has the willpower to do what is in the manifesto. Okay. Because we'll come
back to you. Okay. We'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Let's also get the thought of Osama Basiri. Yeah. Now, looking at political parties is now commonplace. You see somebody with a particular party, let's say ABGA or SDP or Zenith Labour Party, or I want to also mention some other parties. It's not only the dominant ones. Okay, the APC or the PDP. After 4 years or 2 years, as the case may be, you see a particular individual who contests on the platform of one party, now in another party. It's commonplace. Is that not a reflection that these parties don't have ideology? Because if they do have ideologies, then individuals will be patient. Even if they are not in power, they will be patient until their party is able to gain power. But some, they are impatient. They want to be in the ruling party.
Well, thank you so much. Like I mentioned earlier, when I said we doubt if political parties in Nigeria actually have ideas, if they believe in ideology. This come to play because if actually they have ideas, these ideas are muted together as a political party, all of us coming together, as one, come up with ideas. This is the programs and policies of our party.
Yes.
Even if your party is not in power, you need to stay back in that political party to ensure that what you people put together, or members of the political party put together, what you people did, the idea you people muted, your plans, your policies, your programs, to ensure that you continue to build it until a day when your party will eventually get to power. But because these ideas are not there, because the political parties originally will not have any idea, they will not come together to put policies and programs together. All they just want is, to get to power by all means.
But so at any point in time, if you see whatever they presented to INEC, they will tell you they have ideology.
Like my brother here mentioned, there is, when you talk about ideology, we are talking about, you know, people actually coming together to plan. But here, they will, just like he said, that they will not tell you that they will not tar the roads. They will not tell you that they will not give us water.
Yeah.
They will not tell you that they will not provide food. They will not tell you that agriculture will not boom in their time. So you discover that what all the political parties are saying, it's the same. Because there are no plans, no ideology, nothing. So anybody can jump at any time, you know, to the other political party and say, oh, I have returned home. Sometimes we begin to imagine these homes they are returning to. Is it the slogan of the hotels that say home away from home? Do you go to your home today and tomorrow you are living there, or you are going to another home? How many homes do you now have? You understand? So we will continue to say that it will be proper when forming political parties, when people are coming together, you know, to put ideas together, they should be able to come up with programs, policies, you know, that the people will buy into, and then the people will begin to look at them. These people, they mean well for us. Not jumping from one political party to the other. Of course, some may be justified, you know, especially when you are mistreated, you know, in a particular political party, you know. But for some who just, for no reason, you know, fly today, tomorrow you fly back, next tomorrow you move to the other one, all because of quest for power. It becomes a problem.
Okay, now let me localize this discussion now. Let me localize this. Osamede, Ondo State is not far from Edo State.
Okay, let's bring it home.
As we speak,
yes,
the governor is representing the APC. His deputy used to be, because he's seen as joint ticket, used to be of the APC. Exactly. But the deputy governor is now a PDP card carrying member. How do you see that scenario to this political parties and ideology thing? Two principle of the governor and the deputy governor are supposed to ensure development of Ondo State.
They have the same mind and working.
Now they belong to two parties. So how do you see political parties and ideology from that focus?
It is a problem of Africans.
Okay.
We do not have strong institutions. Instead, we have strong men. If we had strong institutions and men that are instead on that institution, putting themselves almost subservient to that system, we would have it better. But instead, we have people who can even beat the system, as it were. But for me, I would say it is not inherently bad. The quest for power, man has always been the individual to want to seek dominance, to want to be the alpha in all the species that God created. So it is already in our nature. But what we should actually be concerned about is, what is the interest? Whose interest are these people actually fighting? Or is it actually the people, or is it for the their own selfish interests? Like the chairman also said, most of these people, they do it for their own interest. But he mentioned the fact that some could be justified. Okay, some are could be justified. In other words, when you are maltreated in a particular place and you know that what you're actually fighting for is for the people, because of your love for the people, you will try your best to make sure that you get into, you stay in power if you are not already in power. Sorry, you get power if you're not already in power, or you stay in power if you're already there, in order to make sure that the people continue to receive the dividends of democracy. So it is not inherently bad to say switching from a particular party to the other, because we do not have those clear-cut ideologies as in the Western world.
Yes.
So a political party, basically, like you defined, is just a vehicle to get power. But what we should be concerned, what the average Nigerian or the average Edo indigene or the average Ondo indigene should be concerned about, is the willpower of that person to be able to bring the dividends of democracy, all that he has promised to do, the manifesto, all that he is contained there, to be able to bring that development to the people. Like it was Kofi Annan of Ghana that said that man actually has the willpower to do anything. We could make the entire Africa become like America overnight. We could even fly to the moon, stay in Mars, do anything that we like. But we all have that willpower. But the willpower that we all have that power to be able to do that. But what we lack is the willpower. So what that means is that an individual could promise to say, oh, I will do this, I will tar road, I will bring development. But you have to look at the person's antecedents. You have to look at the person's history. Because the misnomer is that the average Nigerian would think that these people that are coming are the bosses. We are the servants. We are subservient to them. But it is actually the other way around. It is we, the people that are actually the employers, so to speak, and they are the employees. So when they are coming, they are seeking for power. They have to bring what they call the CV, the curriculum vitae, or the resume. And what is contained in the resume is actually what you've done before. What is your experience? What have you been able to, in your own small community, have you been able to lead and be able to bring development in that small area before saying you want to become...
Now, let me interject again.
Let's say governor.
Now, Samedo, you talked about the people, the electorate, the voters.
Yes, it is about the people.
That they are the employers.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of principle, you're very correct. But in terms of reality, do you think that is really obtainable in the Nigerian climate?
It is.
Now, most political parties, from the information we have, party members don't even contribute money in terms of dues to sustain the party.
Okay, as opposed to as obtainable in the other
yes.
times. Well, it is true because the average Nigerian does not actually think we should hold these people accountable or hold these people responsible. They believe that, oh, whether we like it or not, they will do what they want to do, and when they get in power, they would even forget us. And so they do not even want to be part of the system. And that is the voter apathy that INEC was also talking about prior to the 2019 election. So people do not even think that whatever decision that they make, whether they be part of a political party or not, it doesn't stop these people, these power players, to be able to do what they want to do. So it is actually a call for us to change, to reorient the average, reorientation of the average Nigerian, to tell them that, see, you have to own government, you have to own this political system. It is you that these people should actually be answerable to. So if these people are not answerable to you, you should know how to use the ballots. Whether or not people come with federal might or come with money, you would be able to say, no, this is the person you want to vote for. So it is actually the strength of the individual's character and not the political party.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. You chairman.
Yes.
You are the chairman of National Youth Council of Nigeria, those the chapter.
By the grace of God.
So you are political, but all the same, what do you think is the way forward in terms of strengthening political parties and strengthening the issue of ideologies?
Well, the way forward, like I mentioned earlier, is that people of like minds should always know that when they come together,
yes,
they are coming together, to plan.
Okay.
They should have policies. They should be able to put together programs. They should be able to, design things, that the people will look at, and be happy to say, oh, these persons are actually ready to serve the people.
Yeah.
But when you begin to just jostle for power, there are no plans, nothing, for the people, it becomes difficult. So we'll continue to advise our people, especially the politicians,
yes,
when formulating, when forming political parties, or if you are joining a political party, you get there, bring in, the word of experience, what you have, so that, on the table, people will be able, to plan and put something, on ground. Then the people will continue to have, that confidence in you to say, oh, this power can do something. Let me also look at what my brother, the question you asked, talking about the people leading. That's why all of us were very happy when the former governor, Comrade Adams Oshomole, came and said, let the people lead.
That's a very good
one. Of us,
one.
The people were happy
That's a
to
very
hear
good one.
that,
but I've done
the man is saying that the people should lead.
Time is our friend on the program. Let me quickly inform our viewer that because of COVID-19, we have an educational program that will be coming up by 2 to educate our children at home, and it's a laudable initiative by the station. But your party was quick one, Osamede.
Well,
Just a quick one.
we are in the year of elections on Ondo and Edo State. So
Yeah.
I would want to tell Edo State people, and of course, let me just bring it home.
No
Edo State
campaign.
people, to look at the strength of the character, look at the experience. If you should know in whose administration you've had it better.
Antecedents.
So the antecedents are not just about saying I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. You already know who is giving you good roads, paying salaries, and all of that.
Thank you. Party well.
Continuity is what we want.
Just a quick one.
Well, I may not to differ from my brother. Thank God the persons who are running from the two major political parties, they've had opportunity to serve the state at one point or the other. So the people know them. They should look at their antecedents, what they have done for the people in the past.
Thank you. So my guests have made it very explicit that the voters are actually employers of public office holders, governor, president. And I think our viewer out there would have gained from that the voter card is very, very powerful. Do not sell it. Political parties must also ensure that they adhere to ideologies. They are not in power today. Don't run away. Hold on to your ideologies. Your time will come, and you will ensure you implement the ideologies of your party. That will strengthen democracy in Nigeria. My name is Ewos Agbola. It's a delight to be back from vacation, and I hope you've enjoyed today's edition of the program. Thank you, my guest, for being a part of the show. My viewer out there, thanks for being